Good morning, everybody. I got my coffee. I got my vape. Let's talk a little. This morning, I'd like to share with you something that I've been doing for years. I didn't come up with it on my own. Somebody else shared this with me, but it kind of changed my life, and it's something that I continually use to help me grow and stay on task. But first, let's take a sip. So I had a question asked me, and this is what it is. It takes a little bit of imagination, it takes a lot of thought, and it takes some honesty with myself. So here's the question. Let's say you're having coffee with your future self from, let's say, 10 years from now. You're noticing as you're talking to them, everything about them is exactly what you wish your life to be. From the car they drive, from the clothes they wear, from the job or business they have, the personality, physical condition, their health, their family, their faith, their bank account, their social circle, and mostly a lot of times it's the peace of mind, because that really reflects if any of that is actually valuable. Somebody's peace of mind. Okay, you've got that. What would need to be different in your life between now and then to make that possible? Let's see, do you need some more training? Or do you need to go in a different direction and start brand new training? Do you need personal or physical growth? Do you need to exercise or maybe change your diet? Do you need to change your income? Do you need to get rid of debt? Do you need more community? Do you need more friends? Do you need to find that special person for the family? Or do you need to make your relationship with your family better? Your role in it, your structure of the family, the time you spend with them. Okay, here's the next question. You ready? What would you be willing to do to have the things that future you have? That's a big one. Think about that. What would you actually be willing to do? Because if you're not willing to change anything, then this is all just a waste of time, and there's lots of other videos that you could be watching, maybe some more on my channel. Yeah, so what would you be willing to do? For me, when this question was brought to me, and I actually went through the exercise of actually imagining myself having coffee and having a conversation with future me, I would do anything. Because at that particular point, I was not very happy with my life. I was not where I wanted to be. I wasn't happy with myself. There were lots of aspects of my life that I really enjoyed, some that I didn't, but mostly I didn't like how I responded to the world around me. I didn't think that I was living up to the potentials that I set for myself. I'm a very critical person when it comes to me. I'm very lenient when it comes to everybody else. I give people the benefit of a doubt. But for me, I am the worst critic. I'm sure there's lots of you out there that are too. Okay, here's another question. You figured out what you don't have that you would like to have, or you really, really, really desire to have, whether it be something you would like to possess or something that you would like to be. For me, my biggest motivation is who do I want to become? You figured out what would have to change, what items, you've listed it, you've written it down. You know exactly by heart. If I woke you up in the middle of the night and asked you what that list was, you would be able to rattle it off from memory. You figured out exactly what you're willing to do to make that happen. And that might be different for the different aspects of it. You know, some of the things that you list, yeah, you know what? It's not worth me putting out any extra effort to achieve, but this other one, absolutely. So the next step is figuring out what do you need to do to make that happen. We've talked about this before. Finding your destination, knowing where you're going is half the battle. So what is it? Do you need more training, more school? Do you need to take an online course, or do you need to just do research? I spend a lot of time just rabbit holing and doing research. There is so much free information out there online, through YouTube, through the internet, through different websites. There is just so much that people are giving away for free. Read books. That's an old one. But read books or listen to an audiobook. If you're not into reading, or there's some reason, like for me, I love to read, but my eye condition actually makes it really, really tough for me to keep reading. My eyes start blurring and different things like that. but I find an audiobook is easy for me to listen to. Do you need to join a gym or find a physical therapist or just start stretching or just take breaks, drink more water, get on a diet? Here's one that may sound a little familiar. Find a mentor. Is that something for you? Find somebody who can actually coach you, especially if you're thinking, geez, I have no idea how to get to that place that future me is at. Find a mentor. There's plenty of them out there. And it doesn't have to be a person. It can be, again, that information. It could be somebody on YouTube. It could be an author or a number of authors. It could even be a movie director. Do you need to reach out to others? That was a huge one for me. If you're familiar with me at all, you know that I had amazingly huge social phobias that stopped me in my tracks, affected me physically, and kept me from doing anything that I wanted to do or needed to do to become who I wanted to be. So reach out to others. If you're listening to this and you've been drawn to it because you're in the reselling community, which most of my channel is about the reselling community, being a reseller, there's great communities. Reach out to another reseller. Get on YouTube. There's plenty of people that have live chats and videos that you can get on there. You can get in that little chat thing on the side there, and you can just reach out to people. It's safe. You're behind that keyboard. Find somebody in your community that does what you do, or meet somebody at an estate sale, at Goodwill, or whatever, and have coffee with them. Go out with them. Maybe even go out there resourcing with them. There's all kinds of events you can do. We have one happening here in Nashville next month, which is going to be August the 23rd and 24th. And of course, this is 2019 if you're listening to this in the future. And if you are, say hi to future me for me. But yeah, we're having this thing called the Nashville Reseller Gathering. There's no teaching or courses or anything like that. Basically, it's a bunch of friends and future friends that get together and do what we love. Just go out and find cool stuff to sell, and then come back and share our fishing stories. I'll put a link down below to the Facebook group if you're interested in that, and all the information is going to be there. This is something that we are going to be having every single year. Now, it may not be anything that future you or future me owns. It may not even be who they are. You may be exactly where you want to be in so many aspects, but it may be what they give to others. What do they give to the community? Maybe you need to start volunteering more. Find some places. Volunteer at church. Volunteer down at the soup kitchen. Don't do that on Thanksgiving, though. They usually turn people away because that tends to be the one time that everybody wants to go out and serve at the soup kitchen, and they need people all the rest of the time. Find things to do. Reach out to people. Okay, so now we have that idea, and before we get any further, let's take another sip. So when I got the solid picture of future me, I spent some time visualizing. Visualization is key to growth. Visualizing yourself already being where you want to be, having what you want to have already become what you want to become. Spend some time with future you like I spend with future me. Actually imagine yourself sitting there and having a conversation with them. Look at them from top to bottom. How's their hair? How are their eyes? Do they smile a lot? What kind of gestures do they do? Go out on a hike with them. Spend some time on a regular basis with them in your imagination. Now, this may sound kind of strange, and I know I used to get in trouble when I was younger for daydreaming, but this is kind of important. Spend some time and get to know them. I realized how important that was because I wanted to make future me my role model. Everything I did, I wanted to figure out, well, what would future me do? Habits I had. If I flew off the handle and got mad at somebody before I blew up, I would hopefully think, okay, how would future me handle this situation? I don't feel like doing this. What would future me do in this situation? I want to get a plaid and paisley pink and orange, black and purple, green and brown shirt. Would future me wear that shirt? Yeah, that's kind of important to me because I don't have a whole lot of fashion sense. Just ask Myrna. So I try to do that as a habit. I actually have to remind myself, like most of the things that I share with you, I have to remind myself often, all the time, to do this, to be thinking, what would future me do right now? That is actually very calming. It really, really is, especially if you don't know what to do, but you're very familiar with that future me. What would future me be? And it's really just another way of saying, what would I do in this situation? What decisions would I make if I was the best me that I want me to be? And you'll find that step by step by step, you will start changing. You will start becoming, you will start having, you will start attracting. And before you know it, you'll be looking back and thinking, what would the past me do right now? And how much better off am I now than I was then? That's kind of important. You need to absolutely celebrate your wins. You also need to measure your progress and look back on a regular basis and compare where you are now from where you started. It really, really helps, especially when you get that feeling, which you will often, that you're just spinning your wheels and you can't do this. It's really, really important to have something to measure against how far you've come. All right, I'm gonna take another sip. My mouth is really dry this morning and I need to pick it. So you've got this whole picture, you've figured out all the things, what you need to do, you've made a list. Now it's time to make a game plan. You can make a game plan on your own, absolutely, but it really helps to have somebody else to talk to, just somebody to bounce ideas off of. It really, really helps, and I'm gonna be saying this a lot, it helps to have a mentor. It helps to have somebody who has success doing what you wanna do to tell you if that's a good idea now, what order you need to do it in, what your BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal, and all of your small goals should be, the time frame you should be expecting. It really helps to have somebody to talk to about that. So that brings me to my last point, and that is share this with somebody, and this is key, somebody you trust. Absolutely do not share this with just anybody. Absolutely don't. I don't ever suggest sharing dreams, goals, excitements, fears, and things like that with just anybody, and not with a lot of people. I find that person, or maybe one or two people, maybe a different person for each category of a goal that I want to achieve, and I share with that person. And I am brutally, brutally honest with that person. It needs to be somebody who's a good listener. Yeah, we can't always find that, I know. But it needs to be somebody who's willing to listen, I guess. Somebody who is interested in you. It really helps then if it's somebody who has a passion for what you're talking about. But share it with them. Let them help you be accountable. Be accountable to them, let them be accountable to you even. Find an accountability buddy. Find somebody who's trying to achieve what you're trying to achieve, and somebody that you trust, that you can be accountable to each other, and that you can share experiences, you can celebrate wins together, and somebody that you can share when you think you've failed or you've come short. So let's take one last sip. How about it? Now, I hope this helps somebody who's listening. It has helped me immensely. I use it all the time. And you know what? This was told to me more than 10 years ago. And I am not the person that I saw as a future me 10 years ahead. But you know what? I have come so far. I've got so much further to go, but I know I can achieve it. And I'm excited and passionate about doing that. So if you're new to my channel, feel free to look around. If you came here from the reseller community, I am going to be making some more reselling videos coming up. Life has kind of been getting in the way, but I'm getting a handle on it. If you come here because somebody shared it with you, or you Googled it, or whatever, and you're new, take a look around. See if there's anything here on my channel that you like. If you do find something that you like, please think about maybe subscribing, maybe sharing this with somebody else. Definitely hit a like button. Hit the dislike button if you don't like me. Leave me some criticism. I'm always open to positive critiques. If you beat me up, I'm probably going to ignore you. And definitely hit that ringy-dingy thing so you're notified the next time I make a video. And as always, no matter what tune that life plays you, always find your groove. I really enjoyed this coffee with you. I always enjoy this time. I'll see you next week.